Hey, welcome to the Economic Report. It's Brian here, and today we have an amazing show for you. We're talking $3,700 per ounce gold. And maybe you can ask yourself the question, how did gold ever get this high? Where is gold heading? And maybe is important, what can you do about this? And are you too late to the show, or are there some other options? And of course, today, all that we're asking you for is a like and a subscribe. It does wonders for the channel. And of course, YouTube loves when you hit that algorithm as well. So thank you very much. Let's continue. Okay, and the first thing we're looking at, this is the end of yesterday's story showing gold at $3,600 per ounce, which is outrageous. But it actually gets a little bit more crazy than that because the speculation is things could go pretty crazy from here. And of course, you may ask yourself the question, so what's really driving $3,700 per ounce gold? And I can give you some factors. The first one is the Fed, of course, and there's been uncertainty with the Fed, not only about their interest rate cut, but geez, there's a whole other thing there about whether or not the Fed has mishandled the economy so far, and that is looming, okay? Number two, we can say that the other factors include the tariffs, which bring a degree of uncertainty, reaction to the tariffs, which brings uncertainty, and of course, the never ending issue with our national debt. And maybe factor number five, we have these countries called the BRICS, that is Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, that are always working on another alternative to dethrone the US dollar. So these things are real, and they all seem to be converging enough right now to cause a degree of uncertainty. Where do people go when there's uncertainty? Well, it's simple. They go right to gold because gold is a long-term hedge for uncertain time periods. And of course, if you're somebody who is watching this channel today, I'm super curious. Do you actually hold physical gold? And if you are holding gold, where do you put it? Do you like put it in your safe? Do you put it under your mattress? Do you have a hole dug out in your backyard? Do you have a place where they hold the gold for you? Maybe you've decided to invest in some other way, shape, or form in gold and or silver. I don't know, but I'm always interested to hear your comments because this is a community. It's where Wall Street economics and DC politics hit Main Street for people like us so we can kind of see things through. Let's go ahead and hear the video here because I think there's going to be some additional insights here that you're really going to want to pay attention to.
At a record high this morning. We're closing in on $3,700 an ounce. I know this is a space that you follow closely. You've talked to a lot of folks within that space. And, I think that gold has now kind of gotten into this place where we discussed, okay, Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is a very interesting part, of that haven trade, where it fits into portfolios. But it really overshadowed gold as the old-fashioned portfolio hedge. And it is certainly in vogue. And I'm just curious, given folks you've talked to and the way you're looking at the space, how you see the setup for that trade, one that's certainly worked tremendously well if you were long gold, certainly in 2025.
I'm going to go ahead and pause there for a moment because I thought it was interesting because the commentator opened up with talking Bitcoin as a different hedge against inflation and, of course, this economic environment we find ourselves in. I don't know if Bitcoin or any crypto is that, at least not yet. It's not commonly adapted. It's not commonly accepted yet. But of course, for centuries, and we're talking going back all the way to the days of the Roman Empire, the days of the Bible, gold has always been a safe haven, as has any other precious metals, including silver. Let's go ahead and hear what the commentator has to say.
Yeah, most certainly. And look, the soft labor data that came out just supported the prices really because the market is expecting a Fed rate cut. But nonetheless, you are seeing that central banks have been buying up gold. People's Bank of China in August bought gold again. So for the 10th consecutive month, you've had the People's Bank of China buying gold. Central banks are expected to continue to buy gold, and that's been sort of a structural change. So unless you see the dollar rising substantially, Wall Street is still expecting that you're going to have easing monetary policy, and you have this structural change with central banks that are continuing to buy gold. And then you even have some calls. Goldman Sachs has a bullish call for 2026, for the end of 2026. In an upward risk scenario, you could see gold going to $5,000 an ounce, because they're saying you may have even private investors sort of shifting away from U.S. Treasuries into gold as well. So Wall Street remains bullish into 2026 for gold prices.
So I'm going to go ahead and pause this for a second, because I think the second part of this interview is something you're going to find tremendous value for, because not everybody is going to go buy physical gold, because I do think there's some liquidity problems with it. Number one, you can have the gold, and the question one is, where do you put it? Number two, how do you dump it when you are ready to cash out of this trade, right? Because I know a lot of people accumulate the gold, but there never seems to be an easy way to get out of gold once you're in gold. So I'm going to show a different option here that I think some of you will find like super, super attractive. It's just a different way to play gold, and it's through the miners. Let's go ahead and hear the experts speak for a moment.
Larry, I want to get your thoughts here on gold, not just the rally we've seen in the commodity itself, but I know there's a couple names, or at least one name that you're looking at as a way to play that trade inside the stock market.
Sure. Gold is very strong, breaking out to new all-time highs. It just consolidated for about 4 months. And I agree with the bullish case of fiscal deficit problems. Right. We've got a weaker dollar. And the gold miners in particular have been very strong and have started to surpass gold in year-to-date performance. So Newmont Mining is a standout in that sector. Newmont Mining is the largest market cap gold miner in the markets. They're also the only gold miner in the S&P 500. Right. And what we saw to start the year was gold really outperformed the gold miners. But then a few months ago, there was a rotation into the gold miners as a catch-up trade. And gold miners are one of my favorite ideas here, because they really work into the Fed easing cycle, and they're not really tied to the U.S. consumer. So if we get weak jobs data for a few reports in a row, then some of the consumer stocks like small caps, banks, they could see some volatility. But one of the benefits of gold and gold miners is they're really not tied to the consumer at all.
Okay, so we heard right from the horse's mouth here that this is a possible play out there. And we're not saying it's an end-all, be-all play, but it's something that maybe is just an option that maybe a lot of the viewers have not considered yet. And that's why we cover things like this on the Economic Report, because once again, we're taking a look at DC politics, Wall Street economics, and how they're hitting people like us on Main Street, because this matters. And of course, not only do we talk about a situation, we try to understand the situation, and maybe most of all, we come up with some kind of a tactical approach to move our game forward. Of course, I'm not the end-all expert on this. However, I will bounce ideas off my audience, because you guys matter. And once again, all that I ask you to do is be liked and subscribe to this channel, so I continue to provide you with this insights on a regular basis. Thank you for joining me at the Economic Report, folks. And I want to remind you one thing: the biggest battle you fight is the one between your ears, over your thoughts, your actions, and your attitude. Go ahead, smile, say hi to somebody, make their day, because your smile and your hello makes a difference of the world. Have a great day.